Did you know that in America today, the president himself openly boasts about weaponizing power, not to defend the nation, but to settle personal scores? 7 months into his second term, Donald Trump has rewritten the rules of democracy. He speaks the language of poker, saying over and over again, "We have all the cards." But the cards he holds are not just against foreign rivals. They're now aimed at his own people. Universities, media companies, law firms, even individuals who dared to cross him. No one is beyond reach. This is no longer the image of a leader restrained by institutions. This is the portrait of a man dismantling those very guardrails. Within hours of taking office in January, Trump began wielding the machinery of government with breathtaking speed. By summer, federal agents and National Guard troops swarmed Washington under an obscure law that allowed him to seize control of local law enforcement. He threatened similar deployments in cities run by Democrats: Baltimore, Chicago, New York, New Orleans. It was a show of force not against foreign enemies, but against American citizens. At the same time, he fired a Federal Reserve governor, citing unproven allegations. He blocked research funds to universities, punished them with settlements, and forced resignations at institutions once considered untouchable. Columbia University paid $220 million. The University of Pennsylvania rolled back records of transgender athletes. Presidents of Virginia and Northwestern universities stepped down. The message was unmistakable. Resist him, and your institution will be crushed. He has punished prosecutors who worked on cases involving him, reassigned civil servants who questioned his orders, and dropped corruption charges against New York's mayor in exchange for political cooperation. Even the Washington Commanders football team was threatened. Restore your old racial slur name or lose the chance at a new stadium. This is not government as Americans have known it. This is raw power, bent to personal vendetta. And yet his supporters cheer. They once shouted against the so-called deep state. But today, they revel in the spectacle of government muscle deployed in the culture wars. Sociologists who study Trump's base say the logic is simple. They hated the state when it restrained Trump. They love it when it crushes his enemies. Trump, always a man of instinct, has discovered something even more dangerous. The limits of truth no longer apply. He creates his own reality. His words need not be proven. His followers do not demand evidence. This is what scholars call epistemic liberation, a freedom from facts, a freedom to declare enemies guilty and allies innocent with a single phrase. Remember his rallying cry from 2023 when prosecutors indicted him? "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." That was not a threat, it was a promise. Today, as president, he has fulfilled it. The Justice Department has been unleashed against political opponents. New investigations target officials from his first administration who dared to speak out. Grand juries probe state attorneys general who challenged him. Media organizations face multi-million-dollar lawsuits, often on flimsy grounds, but settlements are extracted all the same. The Constitution was written to divide power, to place checks on a president's will. Courts, laws, tradition, all designed to stop tyranny. But in his second term, Trump has shown how easily those barriers can be steamrolled when fear and loyalty replace restraint. How has this happened? First, through sheer audacity, executive orders fly from his desk. Personnel are replaced without warning. Intimidation, threats, and lawsuits silence resistance. Personnel are replaced without warning. Intimidation, threats, and lawsuits silence resistance. Second, by a Congress and Supreme Court willing to cede power. Third, by universities, corporations, and law firms that surrender under financial and political pressure. Bit by bit, institutions bend and then break. The terrifying reality is not just Trump's personal hunger for revenge. It is the new normal it creates. If one president can weaponize the state this way, what stops the next? Or the one after that? What happens when Americans no longer trust that the law is impartial? This is how democracies die, not in a single day, but in 1,000 small concessions. Trump himself insists he is ending government weaponization. Never again will the immense power of the state be used to persecute political opponents, he declared at his inauguration. And yet within weeks he signed sweeping orders to investigate his own former officials and to punish democratic law firms. The circle is complete. He claimed to be the victim of persecution. Now, he is the persecutor. And America, once the world's loudest champion of democracy, is teaching other leaders how to dismantle it from within. With memes, with lawsuits, with the smile of power unrestrained. This is not just another presidency. This is a stress test for the survival of liberal democracy itself. The warning signs are flashing, the erosion of truth, the punishment of critics, the glorification of state power in service of one man. It is the story of our time and perhaps the most dangerous legacy of Donald Trump's return to power. The world should be watching. Because the question is no longer whether Trump is weaponizing the government. The question is whether democracy itself can survive it.